Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh wa lahama salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa jal farajum. Okay, welcome to the channel, everyone, and I hope everyone is having a good morning, evening, or night, depending on when you are watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, also hit the bell notification, inshallah. Join the conversation in the comment section. Today we are talking about Sudan. There have been some changes and updates. I have just recently become aware of this, so I'll be getting new knowledge of this just about the same time you guys are getting it. But I have a video queued up here. It's from Al Jazeera English. We're going to be talking about how, I guess, the rebels have now taken, and I consider them rebels. I don't know if everyone considers Hemeti's forces, the RSF as rebels, but I do. They're committing war crimes. They're killing innocent people, and they've been doing this. And I'm confused on how they could still be gaining control of anything. So they just took an area called Al-Fasher, right? And I guess that gives them the complete control of the Darfur region, a region where they have been terrorizing and killing and committing genocide forever. But we're going to play a video and see what the news is.
Sudan's army says it's pulled out of Al-Fasher in western Darfur. The region is now said to be under the control of the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. So, how significant is this development? Is there a risk Sudan could break up? And who?
Why is the Muslim Ummah okay with this? We're so gung-ho about the Palestine issue, right? What about the rest of the Muslim issues? Because this is an issue for the Ummah at large, if you ask me. Now, I would hate to think that it matters less to the Muslim Ummah because the people mainly being affected in this conflict and who are being killed and misplaced and ethnically cleansed are Africans, Black Africans. But that might very be the case. And I'm not afraid to admit that or even question that, because why is the Ummah so silent? And then we have the UAE, a so-called Muslim nation that is basically the main backer, facilitator, and beneficiary of this carnage being committed by the RSF. Now you got other Muslim countries like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, supposedly backing the Sudanese army. But the Sudanese army isn't the one that we've been hearing the news about committing the massacres, doing the bulk of the war crimes. Because I'm not absolving the Sudanese military of anything, because I'm sure they've done things within this war too that can't be justified. But when is the Ummah going to speak up about the UAE and the RSF? Or are we just going to stay silent because it's Black Africans?
Who can stop the dire humanitarian crisis there? This is Inside Story. Hello, welcome to the programme. I'm Bernard Smith. For more than 2 years, Sudan has been locked in a bloody conflict between its military and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. And this week, the RSF wrestled control of the strategic city of Al-Fasher, the capital of North Darfur, which has been under siege by RSF forces for 18 months. With the group now in control of the Darfur region and the army in charge of the...
So this war has been going on for 2 years. And they were sieging the Darfur region for 18 months out of them 2 years. Why does the RSF and the genocidal forces, why are they focusing so much on the Darfur region? Again, because it's an ethnic thing. The RSF forces, right? They are, we all know, they're Arabs. You feel me? They're Arabs. The Darfur region and the people that they've been killing over there, and they've been killing since they had the Janjaweed militias, are Black Africans. Can we consider these individuals as Muslims? Maybe some of them aren't even Muslims, because we know there is no room for racism in Islam. But even now, in 2025, going into 2026, we have such a high degree of racism in our ummah that you have people going out and killing people of the other race.
Of the capital, Khartoum, is there a risk Sudan could break up? And who will protect the hundreds of thousands of civilians in the line of fire? We'll get to our guests in a moment. First, this report from Alex Baird.
Celebrating what could be a pivotal moment for the conflict in Sudan. Fighters for the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces seize Al-Fashir, the capital of North Darfur. Fierce battles forced the Sudanese...
Look at this. Look at the scenery, and they're celebrating. How could you celebrate destruction? There's a sickness within our ummah, too. As long as I can remember, probably since the 9/11 attacks when I was a kid, right? The Muslim Ummah has been under a state of constant warfare, destruction, and murder. But we constantly see celebrations in all these different countries when a conflict is perceived to be over or won by a certain side. There's no room for celebration. There's no room for celebration. Like, this ummah is divided. It's killing each other off. And we're quiet about selective issues, which is not Islamic and is not justified.
Sudanese army and its allies to retreat from their positions, withdrawing from the city after a 17-month siege by the RSF, which has blocked the entry of all food and humanitarian aid.
We have agreed to withdraw the army from the city of Al-Fashir to a safer location to spare the citizens and the rest of the city from destruction.
The latest gains by the RSF.
So you withdraw to spare the city from death and destruction and just hand it over to the people who have been committing the death and destruction, according to the people who live in that region. So now these people are probably going to live under a state of terror and fear. And I guarantee you, mark my words, there will be reports of massacres in Darfur because of this.
Mean the paramilitary group now controls most of Darfur, large parts of Kordofan, and a border region near Libya and Egypt.
They only control half of Sudan. Just look at the map. How? Like, can the Sudanese armed forces really be that incompetent? Can they really be that weak and incompetent? And they have backers also. But is the UAE's backing of the RSF so much more effective than what the Sudanese army can muster and the support that they're getting? Because look at that. That's almost half the map, y'all. And I'm of the belief that it will be better for the Sudanese army, the official army, to gain control once again of the country and do away with the RSF.
RSF had already announced a rival administration, and there are fears that could lead to the breakup of Sudan. The conflict began in 2023 after a disagreement on how to integrate RSF forces into the Sudanese army.
When is this?
More than 2 years later, Sudan has become what the UN has described as the world's worst humanitarian and displacement crisis. 30 million people are in urgent need of aid. 12 million
30 million people are in need of aid, y'all.
Have fled their homes, and
12 million apparently displaced, fled their homes. This is definitely, without a doubt, without a debate, the biggest humanitarian crisis on earth right now. This is the conflict that needs the most attention right now. I'm not saying take attention away from other conflicts that we care about and situations we care about, but I'm saying this should be front and center of the world right now. But once again, it's not even close. You know, I've probably seen maybe one or two people that I follow personally on YouTube talk about this. And given, like Mehdi Hassan, he gave an entire show and monologue about the situation in an interview, I believe. But other than that, I really haven't seen anyone on the media talking about it too much. You know, TYT, the Young Turks, they don't really talk about it. It's kind of sad and it's kind of upsetting. But then again, I know why. As being an African-American Muslim, I understand where the prejudice is coming from. It's never going to change, if you ask me.
And hundreds of thousands are on the brink of famine, and tens of thousands more have been killed. The fear now is for the 250,000 people in Al Fashir who are still trapped there.
Just a few minutes ago, reported on a multitude of reports of summary executions of unarmed men and civilians in Al Fashir. The RSF needs to demonstrate respect for international humanitarian law and let those people leave. Alternatively, they need to let us in. And we have asked for that multiple times.
Al Jazeera's fact-checking unit has verified these.
They're going to kill people. I just said it. Mark my words. The RSF will commit massacres in the Darfur region. They've done it before. They've done it again. They've done it again. And they will do it again. Are we a bunch of cowards within this ummah? Or are we the hypocrites that the Holy Quran speaks of? Because when it comes to situations like this, it makes it so clear to see the hypocrisy within Muslims. Within Muslims, I don't feel that Muslims should be out giving dawah. You shouldn't be giving dawah. Like, you can't go outside of your house and try to correct people if things in your house aren't correct. I mean, we need dawah. We need to study. We need to understand what justice is in Islam. Because ignoring this situation is not justice at all. This is horrible.
These videos. This one shows RSF fighters taunting a woman believed to be dead. And here, fighters are seen rounding up civilians. The paramilitary group is accused of targeting civilians based on their ethnicity.
The worries are
based on ethnicity, like I said. So, are Muslims racist or not? As a Muslim, I'm asking this. As an African-American Muslim, I would like to know to the broader and wider ummah of the globe, where is your justice? Where is your sense of justice for these people who are not of the same ethnicity as you? Why are you so quiet?
are around, what will the continued impact be for hundreds of thousands of people who are living in this area? Will we see those ethnic dimensions of the conflict, which are very old, decades old, not something that is new, but have resurfaced, and really we're seeing now brutally being enacted.
Sudan filed a case at the International Court of Justice in March, accusing the UAE of breaching the Genocide Convention by giving direct support to the RSF, implicating it in genocidal acts in Darfur.
If y'all want to boycott Israel, right, I say boycott the UAE too. I don't care if it's a Muslim country. Their leaders are oppressors. Their leaders are supporting massacres within a country that they are not even from. And why? Why? We like to speak about how the white man exploits the resources of Africa. But what about the Arab man? What about the Arab man? What about the Arab man who claims to be a Muslim, a mu'min, someone who follows the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? But then they commit things of this magnitude. But the Ummah is silent. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But I refuse to be silent in the face of injustice, even if it's coming from those within this Ummah. Because we know right and we know wrong. It's either you're going to stand up and speak for justice for all, Sudan, the Uyghurs, the Palestinians, of course, or you're going to be silent and say nothing. Because if you choose to speak for one and not the other, you're a hypocrite. And that's just the facts of the matter. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.